Hello, it's Olimek. In today's video, we will be replacing radiator coolant on this 2019 Nissan Kicks. So this car has 150,000 kilometers on it and we already have low engine coolant. So instead of adding some new coolant, I'm going to flush the entire system and then add coolant. So in today's video, I will show you the entire process, how to clean the system and add new coolant. And I will make it very easy without removing any hose. So I will show you the entire process, how to clean the system and then add new coolant. So after watching this video, you will be able to do this on your car. One important note before doing any work on the radiator coolant, make sure the engine cold to touch, because when the engine at operating temperature, the system going to be pressurized, so at that time we can't open this cap. But if you leave the car sitting for a while and the engine is cold to touch, it's safe to open this cap. When we look inside the reservoir, we can see small particles, so that's a good indication to flush the system and not adding coolant at this time. So I realized the radiator coolant is green, it's supposed to be blue, and at this moment when it gets old it has to be dark blue, but looks like somebody replaced the radiator coolant and filled it up with the wrong one. So depending on your car's model and the brand, we will need radiator coolant. You can get it from Nissan or you can get it from other brands. So with the other brands, you have to make sure that it mentions Nissan or Asian vehicle and it has to be 50-50 mixture. So Valvoline already offering for Nissan and it's 50-50 mixture and you can drive with it till 150,000 kilometers or 5 years guarantee. We will need about 5 liters, so that's why I got 3.78 liters. So before putting new radiator coolant, I'm gonna flush the system with the radiator flush. You can put this in the radiator with the old coolant, but I'm not gonna do that. I will drain the entire coolant and fill the system with the distilled water and then mix it with the radiator flush. Let the engine run for a while. So I will do that procedure a few times with the distilled water till the reservoir gets clean. That's the right way if you are flushing the entire system and you want to have a clean system before putting the radiator coolant. These radiator coolants are not cheap, so it's better to do entire flush and then put the new coolant. That way you will be sure the entire system is clean with the new coolant and you're gonna drive the car for the next 150,000 kilometers or 5 years. You can use this procedure for most cars. The only thing will be changing is the radiator coolant. Next, we need something for draining the coolant and also gloves. Alright, let's start with removing reservoir cap and then get under the car and remove the drain valve from the radiator. Alright, now all the radiator coolant is drained. Now we're gonna close the valve and fill it up with distilled water and also adding the radiator flush and run the engine 10 to 13 minutes, and then we're gonna flush it again a few times with distilled water so we can make sure that no cleaner left in the radiator, and then we're gonna add new radiator coolant. So depending on your car's condition, sometimes you need 3 flushes and then the entire system will be clean. So I will take a sample from each flush and then we will see the before and after flushes. Alright, all the radiator coolant is drained. Now we're gonna add distilled water. Alright, now I just added 2 liters of distilled water. Now I'm going to open this radiator flush and also add this, and then after that I will add distilled water again. It will be easier for mixing even though we're going to start the engine. Now the radiator filled with distilled water and also the cleaner. Now we're going to start the engine and let it run 10 to 30 minutes. But the important thing is turning on the heater as well, so the distilled water and the cleaner circulates in the heater core as well. So after starting the engine, we're going to put it on full heat so the valve will be fully open, and then we're going to put the fan on 1. So now we are not only cleaning the radiator but also the heater core as well. Alright, the engine been running for 15 minutes. Now we're going to give it some time to cool down so the system won't be pressurized. We're going to drain the mixture of distilled water and the cleaner and then add distilled water again until the distilled water stays clean and not be like this. Alright, this is the third flush. We can see the distilled water didn't change. It means there is no coolant in the system and the entire system is clean. So now we're going to turn the engine off and let it cool down. After that, we're going to drain the distilled water and fill the radiator with antifreeze. Alright, I just put the first gallon, which is 3.7 liters. Now I'm going to turn the engine on and add the other one. Alright, the engine been running for a while, and if you check the return hose, we don't see any bubble and we can see the continuous flow, and that telling us the system is air free. And now we can take the funnel and put the cap on. And if you see the coolant level below the max, you can add it up till it will be at the max level. So this is how you replace unflushed radiator coolant in a right way. So if you do these steps like this, you're going to drive the car for the next 150,000 kilometers without worrying about radiator coolant. So all we needed, same radiator coolant that been recommended from the manufacturer, radiator flush, and some distilled water. And I used 15 bottles of distilled water, and I could flush the system 3 times. I will make sure to put all the products in the video description down below. If you found the video useful, like and subscribe if you haven't already. And I will see you in the next one. Bye for now.